Okay, thank you. So we're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, and today we're starting chapter 2, the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Does somebody want to read the summary?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Okay. In the second chapter of Madhya Lila, the author describes the pastimes the Lord performed during the last 12 years of his life. Thus, he has also described some of the pastimes of Antya Lila. Why he has done so is very difficult for an ordinary person to understand. The author expects that reading the pastimes of the Lord will gradually help person awaken his dormant love for Krishna. Actually, this Chaitanya Charitamrita was compiled by the author during very old age. Fearing he might not be able to finish the book, he has included a synopsis of Antilila here in the second chapter. Sila Kaviraj Goswami has confirmed that the opinion of Swarup Damodar is authoritative in the matter of devotional service. Over and above, these are the notes of Swarup Damodar, memorized by Raghunath Dasa Goswami, who also helped in the compilation of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. After the disappearance of Swarup Damodar Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami went to Vrindavan. At that time, the author Sila Kaviraj Goswami met Raghunath Das Goswami, by whose mercy he also could memorize all the notes. In this way, the author was able to complete this transcendental literature, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I want to make a few points. One is that Krishnadas Kaviraj was, I think, 92 years old when he came to Vrindavan and was asked by the devotees to write the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So he was concerned that he may not be able to finish before leaving his body. As a result, as you have seen the last many weeks, the first chapter was all synopsis. And second chapter is going to be synopsis also. So first chapter was the synopsis of Madhya Lila. Madhya Lila is the first 6 years in Jagannath Puri for Lord Chaitanya. So you know he took renunciation at the age of 24. So first 24 years of his life was spent in Navadvip. And then he took renunciation, sannyas, and he moved to Jagannath Puri. And then the first 6 years of those 24 years, he spent traveling. And that is and preaching and spreading the Sankirtan movement and the holy name. And that is your Madhya Lila. Then the last 18 years in Jagannath Puri, he manifested very confidential pastimes in the mood of Radharani. So we know that Dwarka is Aishwarya Bhav, right? So is Mathura, and Vrindavan is Madhurya Bhav, or Madhurya Ras. And in Navadvip Dham is Audarya, very merciful, no offense taken, right? In Vrindavan, we have the Sambhog Ras when Krishna was there. Once Krishna left, it became Vipralam, right? So each of these dhams have their mood, but Jagannath Puri has all three. So Jagannath Puri temple is representing Dwarka, and Lord Jagannath is worshipped in the mood of awe and reverence, opulence. He is the king. So this Aishwarya Bhav. Then when he goes to Gundicha, that represents Vrindavan, right? So that's Madhuri Bhav. Then when Lord Chaitanya came, so basically Navadvip comes with him, so that became the Audarya. right? Now, Vipralamba Bhav is also very prominent. So, what about Lord Jagannath? What kind of Vipralamba Bhava does he have?
He's missing Vrindavan, Prabhuji.
A little bit more than that.
From the Radharani's house.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Lord Jagannath is Krishna missing Radharani.
Missing
That is
Radharani.
Vipralamba Bhava.
Yep.
And so that is shown in Jagannath Puri temple. Now, where did Lord Chaitanya live in Jagannath Puri?
Gambhira.
Sorry?
Gambhira, place called
Gambhira, yes.
Gambhira.
Yes, Prabhu, Gambhira, which was a house owned by Kashi Mishra.
Hmm.
And then in that house, Lord Chaitanya was living, and the room he was living in was known as Gambhira. So now, in that room, Lord Chaitanya will do things that he will not do in public. So who was with him in Gambhira room? Swarup Damodar, was Vishakha Sakhi or Lita Sakhi, I can never remember. And Ramanand Rai, who is Lalita Sakhi,
Mhm.
and um, what's one other person? Swarup Damodar. Oh yeah, Parmanand Puri. He'll be there, who's actually his god uncle, and they'll be discussing Radharani's mood. So what's Lord Chaitanya's mood? He's Krishna in the
Mood of Radharani.
mood of Radharani. But which mood of Radharani?
Missing root, like the
Yes,
sorrow,
so Vipralamba.
Viplam.
So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna
In Viplam.
in the mood of Radharani, missing Krishna,
Yes.
right? So Krishna in the mood of Radharani, missing Krishna. That's Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is not Radharani,
No.
right? He's Krishna. But it's Krishna in the mood of Radharani, missing Krishna. Is that clear?
Yep.
So in the Gambhira temple, Gambhira room, Lord Chaitanya performed lots of pastimes which are exactly in that mood. And he will talk, and there's a lot of verses he'll chant, but they all be reflecting the mood of Radharani, missing Krishna. So this synopsis here in chapter 2 starts with that. How Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Radharani, is missing Krishna. And what kind of things he says. So let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, so now it says Swarup Damodar is authoritative because Swarup Damodar witnessed all these things and he made notes. Now, when Raghunath Das Goswami came to Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya put him in the shelter of Swarup Damodar. So he learned all the pastimes, the philosophy, and all about devotional service from Swarup Damodar. Then Swarup Damodar left his body for Vrindavan Dham. Then Raghunath Das Goswami came to Vrindavan. And you know the story how he was planning to jump from the Govardhan Hill to give up his life. The Goswamis talked him out of it, so he stayed at the banks of Radhakund. That is where Krishnadas Kaviraj met him and heard Chaitanya Lila from him. So he memorized all those things, and also he used a diary of
Rup Samodar.
sorry,
Rup Damodar.
Swarup Damodar. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So based on what he heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, I'm sorry, no, I was thinking about Kalcha of Mukunda. So there's Kalcha diary of Mukunda also. So he had these two sources, what he heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, what he read in that Kalcha diary. So therefore, both are authentic because they're eyewitnesses to Lord Chaitanya's Leela as described. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is basically an eyewitness account. It's not Krishnadas Kaviraj's imagination or fiction or something he made up. So Swarup Damodar, Murari Gupta heard, saw, and they gave the information to Krishnadas Kaviraj, who wrote it down. And that's what we're reading. And one other point is here that the author expects that reading the pastimes of the Lord will gradually help a person awaken his dormant love of Krishna. And that's our hope also. So, but what is required to develop love of Krishna by hearing about the Lord's pastimes? What's required?
Complete surrender.
Okay, what
Faith.
else is required?
Faith.
Faith,
What else is required?
Service, Prabhuji.
Sorry, beta?
Service,
Service, yes, of course. What else?
humility.
Mercy.
Sorry?
Humility.
Mercy of the
Mercy,
Lord.
of course.
Yeah.
I'm talking about things that are in your control. Mercy is not in your control.
Humility.
Humility, okay. What else?
Guru's mercy, Vaishnava's
Devotees
mercy.
Love and
association.
devotion.
I'm sorry.
Love
Devotee
and devotion.
association.
I'm sorry. Two people talking at the same time. I can't hear. One person, please.
Prabhuji, love of Krishna, love for Krishna.
No, that's what we're going to develop.
Prabhuji, the intensity in the absorption in the pastime.
Yes, that's the main thing. I want to make sure everybody gets that. Yeah, lolium, absorption, very important. Which means you can't be thinking about something else while sitting in the class. Okay, and we really have to. So let me give an example of absorption. Now, I don't expect us to get there to that point, but just to get my point, I'm going to give an example. Parikshit Maharaj. He was listening to Shukadeva Goswami, right? Now, Shukadeva Goswami is describing the childhood pastimes of Krishna. Now, did the childhood pastimes of Krishna happen before Parikshit Maharaj or after?
Before.
Huh? Sorry?
Much before,
Before.
Prabhuji.
Before, yes. Which means that already happened. Which means Parikshit Maharaj knew what those pastimes were, right? Agree?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Now, when Shukadeva Goswami starts to explain or describe, I should say, the killing of Putna pastimes. He explains how she came as a beautiful woman and changed her form to this big 12-mile long body woman and she tried to poison Krishna. You know what Parikshit Maharaj did? He started trembling. And in a very trembling voice, he asked Shukadeva Goswami, "So Maharaj, please tell me what happened then. Please tell me what happened." Now he knows the result. He knows Krishna was alive after that. So he must have survived. But the absorption made him think, oh my God, what happened?
Yep.
You getting my point?
Yes. Yes,
That-
Prabhuji.
That's the real absorption. I'm
Yep.
not saying we will get there, but we should know what the target is. Okay. Any questions so far?
Prabhuji, if I may make a comment,
Please do.
reading Bhagavatam actually is so addicting. It's described so elaborately that's even better than watching a Bollywood movie.
Oh, much better.
The scenes are described in so much detail
Yes.
that it's like a film playing in front of your eyes, and it's so much more engrossing than any Bollywood movie
Yes.
for that matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mataji. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But provided we have that absorption.
Mm.
Right. Okay. Any other question or comment? Otherwise, we can now, with this background, we can go to text 1. Now, again, I don't know the meter, so I'm just going to read it, unless somebody feels they know the meter and they want to read it. Okay. Vichede asmin prabhor antya Lila sutranuvarnane Gaurasya Krishna vicheda Prilapadi anuvarnyate. Translation. While relating in synopsis form the last division of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this chapter, I shall describe the Lord's transcendental ecstasy, which appears like madness due to his separation from Krishna. Somebody read the purport, please.
Can I read it, Prabhuji?
Please go ahead.
Purport. In this second chapter, the activities of Lord Chaitanya that took place after the Lord accepted sannyas are generally described. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is specifically mentioned here as being Gaura or of fair complexion. Krishna is generally known to be blackish, but when he is absorbed in the thought of the gopis, who are all of fair complexion, Krishna himself also becomes fair. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in particular felt separation from Krishna very deeply, exactly like a lover who is dejected in separation from the beloved. Such feelings, which were expressed by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for nearly 12 years at the end of his pastime, are described in brief in the second chapter of the Madhya Lila.
Yeah,
Shri
thank you.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So this is another example of absorption.
Yep.
Krishna was so absorbed in Radharani, his complexion changed. Right? So similarly, I think there's some kind of a larva, right? Becomes so absorbed, it turns into a butterfly. I'm not sure I got the details exactly right, but something like that. It just gets so hard meditation in that other form that changes the form.
Caterpillar.
Huh?
Is it the
Caterpillar, yes.
caterpillar?
I couldn't remember the name. Yes, caterpillar, exactly. So that's another example of absorption. Okay. All right. So again, saying that 12 years, Lord Chaitanya did nothing but miss Krishna. Text 2. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Chandra. And all glories to all the devotees of the Lord. So now we've discussed this before, so I'm going to ask you, what's happening in this verse?
Like Advaita Charya is said as Advaita Chandra.
Sorry,
This
what?
is what Advaita Chandra,
Yeah.
like we used to say Advaita Charya.
Oh, okay. No, but what's happening in this verse? What's the significance of this verse?
Krishnadas Kaviraj is offering his obeisances to Panchtattvas
Why?
because that's
To
the
take the-
that's the correct way to like whenever we start a
Yes.
class, we do Mangalacharan. So
Yes.
we're grateful to the saints who revealed the
Yeah.
truth to us.
Yes. And we seek blessings of the devotees before starting anything. Whether
Yes.
it's a journey or an assignment or a project or book or whatever, we pray to the devotees. That's what he's doing. Okay. And then you'll know that at the end of every chapter, he thanks Rupa Raghunath Padejar Mayash, Rupa Goswami Raghunath Das Goswami. Yeah, for his obeisances, basically to thank them. So every chapter you'll find the same thing. Okay. Text 3. शेष जे रहिले प्रभुर द्वादश वत्सर कृष्णेर वियोग स्फूर्ति होए निरंतर. During his last 12 years, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always manifested all the symptoms of ecstasy in separation from Krishna. So what are some of the symptoms of ecstasy?
Here standing on end,
Yes.
Tears flowing,
Tears flowing, yes.
even shivering.
Ashtavikar Prabhuji, we talk about 8.
Yeah, Ashtabika, that's what I'm saying. So tell me what they are.
Shivering,
Shivering, yes, shivering of the body, yeah, trembling, shivering.
Falling and
Falling
also
down, yes.
eyes, tears falling from the
Yeah.
eyes,
Yeah.
perspiration, all those
And laughing like madman,
laughing like a man,
right?
and
Sometimes developing
losing outside consciousness.
Yeah, losing
Yeah.
consciousness, sometimes developing fever. And in the case of Lord Chaitanya, one very peculiar symptom happened. His joints will become loose.
Yeah, limbs wish to withdraw.
So basically, like he was
Yeah.
7 foot tall. And when he fainted and the joints became loose, he'll become 8 foot tall.
Mm.
So like there was literally 6 inches between the joints when they're supposed to be connected. So that's a very peculiar, typical, unique, I should say, unique symptom of Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy. So he's manifesting all that. And we'll read a few more in these verses. Okay, text 4. शिराधिकार चेष्टा जेन उद्धव दर्शने मत दशा प्रभुर होए रात्रि दिने. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's state of mind, day and night, was practically identical to Radharani's state of mind when Uddhava came to Vrindavan to see the gopis. So who remembers what happened when Radharani met Uddhava in Vrindavan? What did Uddhava notice?
Oh, the rivers of the tears.
Okay, what else?
Flowing.
Radharani was very weak, but her face was very shiny still.
Okay, okay, what else? In terms of behavior,
They
Yeah,
were
missing
living,
Krishna.
sorry?
Missing Krishna and
No, give a
remembering
practical
him.
example of the behavior.
but they were living only for the pleasure of Krishna, because they thought that if they don't live anymore, Krishna will be sad.
Okay. All right. So she noticed that she was talking to a bumblebee,
Yeah.
right? Like a mad woman. And basically accusing him of being just like Krishna. He goes from flower to flower to flower, like Krishna left us and went to the women in Mathura. Right? And then all sorts of complaints. I'm having a proper conversation with a bumblebee. So in Hindi, there's a word called anargal baat, which makes no sense. So she was talking like it will not make sense to anybody who doesn't understand her sentiments. Lord Chaitanya would do the same thing. Okay? Text 5. Nirantar hoy prabhur virah unmad brahmamay cheshta sada pralapamay vad. The Lord constantly exhibited a state of mind reflecting the madness of separation. So what are those symptoms? All his activities are based on forgetfulness, and his talks were always based on madness. So couldn't remember anything and talk like a mad person. How do mad people talk? They don't make any sense. There's no connection from one sentence to the sentence, and whatever they're saying makes no sense. Okay, text 6. लोम कुप्पे रक्तोद्गम दंत सब हाले क्षणे अंग क्षीण होय क्षणे अंग फूले. Now more symptoms of ecstasy. Blood flowed from all the pores of his body. Literally. This is not a cut. This is not from a cut. The pores of his body, blood is coming out. Like from our pores, what comes out? What comes out of the pores of our body?
Sweat.
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 Exactly. Right?
Sweat, sweat.
But in this case, blood is coming out.
Sweat.
And all his teeth were loosened. His teeth will become loose. At one moment, his whole body became slender, and at another moment, his whole body became fat. Now get that one. Right? So amazing symptoms of ecstasy. Text 7. Gambhira bitre ratre nahi nidda lo. Dhitte mukh shir ghase chat hoy sab. The small room beyond the corridor is called the Gambhira. That's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to stay in that room. That's what we said before. But he did not sleep for a moment. At night, he used to grind his mouth and head on the wall, and his face sustained injuries all over. He literally rubbed his face on the wall. So later on, maybe next week, we'll read about the example of a mad elephant or mad elephants entering a field of sugarcane. So sugarcane is a very slender, like pole, right? But imagine a few mad elephants going there. What will they do to the field? Everything, torn apart, torn away, thrown away. And he says that that's how Lord Chaitanya would look. His body would look so damaged. Yes, Sakhi, thank you very much. So I should point out now I'm leaving on Thursday next week for New York City, and I will not be back for Thursday after that. So next 2 Thursdays, I will not be here. So therefore, our class will start mid-August, 2 Thursdays from now. Thank you, Saki, for reminding me. Okay. I sent a note out so you will know. Text 8. तीन द्वारे कपाट प्रभु जायन बाहिरे कभु सिंह द्वारे पड़े कभु सिंधु नीरे. Although the 3 doors of the house were closed, the Lord would nonetheless go out and sometimes would be found at the Jagannath temple before the gate known as Singhadwar, and sometimes the Lord would fall flat into the sea. So all these people, Govinda, Surup Damodar, Damanand Rai, they'll be all worried about what Lord Chaitanya may do to himself to hurt himself. So they will close the doors of the room that he was in. But somehow will come out. So they said, okay, we're going to sit at the doors. So 3 of them will sit at the 3 doors to watch Lord Chaitanya. I think he doesn't come out, but somehow he'll still manage to come out. And then when he came out, what did he do? Sometimes they'll find him because all night they'll be looking for him. As soon as they realize he's not there, they start looking. And sometimes they found him at the Singhadwar. So anybody been to Jagannath Puri temple?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, so main door is called Singhadwar. There are 4 doors.
Thank you.
Main is called Singhadwar. And so sometimes they'll find him there. Sometimes they'll find him in the ocean. There's a very famous pastime of one time he basically went to the ocean thinking this is Yamuna and then fainted. And a fisherman caught him in his net. And while all the devotees were looking for him, they couldn't find him. They saw this man running like a crazy person, like a madman, and saying, Jaga, 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 Jaga. He couldn't say anymore. They stopped him and said, what's going on? And they knew he's showing the ecstasy that you can only get after touching Lord Chaitanya. So even though he could not speak, they said, okay, just take us. They took him to Lord Chaitanya was there. So again, he's lying down, the 8-foot body, all the joints loosened, teeth loosened, and he's talking in his sleep or in his unconscious state. So that's a pastime that we read about in a lot more detail later on. But that's what's being referred to here. Text 9. चटक पर्वत देखी गोवर्धन भ्रमे धाइया चले आर्तनाद करिया क्रंदने. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would also run very fast across the sand dunes, mistaking them for Govardhan. As he ran, he would wail and cry loudly. Somebody read the purport, please.
Can I
I-
read?
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Purport. Because of the winds of the sea, sometimes the sand would form dunes. Such sand dunes are called Chataka Parvat. Instead of seeing these sand dunes simply as hills of sand, the Lord would take them to be Govardhan Hill. Sometimes he would run towards these dunes at high speed, crying very loudly, expressing the state of mind exhibited by Radharani. Thus, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna and his pastimes. His state of mind brought him the atmosphere of Vrindavan and Govardhan Hill, and thus he enjoyed the transcendental bliss of separation and meeting. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
So basically, there's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita later on which says, स्थावर जंगम देखे न देखे तार मूर्ति सर्वत्र होए तार Ishtadev Spurti, which says that a pure devotee sees Krishna in everything. He may see an animal, a tree, a human, or any object. And somehow he'll think of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is doing the same thing. He sees the ocean, he thinks Yamuna. He sees the sand dunes, he thinks Govardhan Parvat,
Govardhan.
right? So even before we had the pastime about Lord Nityananda tricking him and saying, oh, this is Vrindavan. And he was looking at Ganga, so thinking Yamuna. And Lord Advaita Acharya came to take him, and he said, what are you doing here? I thought I was in Vrindavan. And Advaita Acharya said, my dear Lord, wherever you are is Vrindavan.
That is the
So
problem.
they clicked it. But he saw Vrindavan, Krishna, Govardhan Hill, everywhere. Everything reminded him of those things. And that's another symptom of ecstasy. And then he says he enjoyed the transcendental bliss of separation and meeting. So he would actually think he's meeting Krishna when he got to those places. Text 10. Upavano dhyan dekhi vrindavan gyan taha jai nache gaye shane mursha yan. Sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mistook the small parks of the city for Vrindavan. So you see greenery, oh, must be Vrindavan. Sometimes you go there, dance and chant, and sometimes fall unconscious in spiritual ecstasy. Okay. Text 11. Kaha nahi shuni jai bhaver vikar sahi bhav hoye prabhur sharire prachar. The extraordinary transformations of the body due to transcendental feelings would never have been possible for anyone but the Lord, in whose body all transformations were manifested. So let's read the purport.
I can read it, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead, Kadam Prabhu.
The ecstatic transformations of the body described in such exalted literatures as the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu are practically not seen in this material world. However, these symptoms were perfectly present in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These symptoms are indicative of Mahabhava or the highest ecstasy. Sometimes Sahajiyas artificially imitate these symptoms, but experienced devotees reject such imitations immediately. The author admits herein that these symptoms are not to be found anywhere but in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, you understand what bhav means? What does bhav mean? Or bhava, if you...
Completely lost in the absorption of
the literal meaning of the word bhava.
Yeah, expression, Prabhuji, physical expression.
Feelings, mood, right?
Yes.
So we talk about bhava bhakti, right? So you have Vaidhi bhakti, you have Raganuga bhakti, then bhava bhakti, then prema bhakti, right? So bhava bhakti is the beginning of the prema bhakti. That's where you start develop spontaneous feelings, right? So most of us are capable of getting there. We don't. It's hard, but are capable of getting there. Most of the residents of Vrindavan had bhav. But the gopis will have mahabhav. It's a great mood, great surrender, great caring, great feeling of meeting and separation, all those kind of things, completely absorbed. But Radharani had what's called Mahamadanaksha bhav, which means even higher than Mahabhav. Right? If you remember.
Can you say it again, which? Maha?
M-A-H-A is Maha. M-A-N-A-K-H-Y-A, Madhya.
Okay.
That's only Radharani, not even the gopis. So you may recall, or if you read it, that the dialogue between Ramanand Rai and Lord Chaitanya. So he asks, what's the ultimate goal? So Ramanand Rai starts with, Karma Yoga, and he talks about, devotional service and the neutral mode of neutrality, and then talks about mode of friendship, talks about paternal, he talks about Madhurya Ras. And he thought that's the end of it. Lachan said, no, go further. And first, Ramananda was shocked. Is there something beyond this? Yeah. He starts about Mahabhav and Mahamadana Bhav, talking about Radharani. So, Lord Chaitanya is again Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Therefore, he develops the same mood, same feelings, same sentiments as Radharani. It's called Mahabhav or Mahamadana. Okay. And then Prabhupada is warning against Sahajiyas. So, text 12. हस्तपदे संधि सब वितस्ति प्रमाणे संधि छाड़ी भिन्न होय चर्म रहे स्थाने. This is what we talked about before. The joints of his hands and legs would sometimes become separated by 8 inches. And they remain connected only by the skin. Imagine. What happens to us Our joints actually get fused together. The cartilage disappears, now the two bones hit. So we have knee pain and other joint pains because there's no cartilage left. Here's the opposite. 8 inches between the joints. No room for arthritis, no room for knee pain. Right? So those of us who cannot find a cure for a knee pain, develop Mahabhav. Very easy cure. Okay? All right. Text 13. हस्तपद शिर सब शरीर भितरे प्रविष्ट होय कूर्म रूप देखिए प्रभु रे. The opposite of previous verse. Sometimes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hands, legs, and head would all enter within his body, just like the withdrawn limbs of a tortoise. Right? And again, that's Lord Jagannath. Right? The hand goes in, the legs go in. Right? The neck practically disappears. That's all symptoms of ecstasy. His ecstasy came from hearing his own pastimes, especially pastimes with Radharani. Right? Text 14. Aimat adbhut bhav sharire prakash manete shunyata vakye haha hutash. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to manifest wonderful ecstatic symptoms. His mind appeared vacant, and there were only hopelessness and disappointment in his words. So now this line is very important. Let's talk about this. His mind appeared vacant. Why is that so significant? Compared with our mind. Is our mind vacant?
Never. Not even one sleeping.
What is it full of?
Vishaya.
Huh? What is it full of?
Material ideas, material thoughts.
Material desires.
Desires.
Right? Material attachment.
Yes.
And all the other nonsense. So this is why our mind is such a loud, noisy place. We cannot hear Paramatma when he talks to us. Right? So Krishna says, control your mind, but your mind is already vacant. There's no need to control. Right? You need control when it's full of all conflicting things. Demand pulling this way and that way. That's why it's flickering. Right? That's why it's fickle. When it's already vacant, that means there's no fickling, no fickleness, no flickering. Right? So very important to be absorbed in Krishna. It has to be vacant from other thoughts. We're not able to be absorbed in Krishna because our mind is full of other ideas, other thoughts, other plans, other schemes, other people who said what to me. Right? So very important. Mind is vacant. And then there were only hopelessness and disappointment. So what does it say? To develop pure devotional service, we have to reach the point of hopelessness. There's no hope outside of Krishna. That's what hopelessness means. In the material world, there's no hope. Everything is going to take us away from Krishna. Everything is temporary. You get attached to it, you're going to hurt. Right? Similarly, disappointment. Everything will eventually disappoint us. Why? Well, it will either go away or will go away, leaving the body. Right? So that's what these three things are very important to become absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna and perform pure devotional service. And only when we are hopeless that Krishna gives us mercy, his mercy. Right? If you have hope from somewhere else, he won't give his mercy. Similarly, when you're not hoping anything from him, he gives it, it's called mercy. Right? Text 15. Sorry, I should also make a point. Disappointment means you're still materially attached. But Lord Chaitanya was not materially attached, but he was thinking he is. So he's saying, I want to move away from this. Okay? Next verse is a very famous verse. We should all memorize it if possible. कहाँ मोर प्राणनाथ मुरली वदन, कहाँ करो कहाँ पाऊं विजेंद्र नंदन. That was Lord Chaitanya's constant chanting. कहाँ मोर प्राणनाथ मुरली वदन, कहाँ करो कहाँ पाऊं विजेंद्र नंदन. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to express his mind in this way. Where is the Lord of my life who's playing his flute? What shall I do now? Where should I go to find the son of Maharaj Nand? Anybody remembers text 7 of Shikshastakam?
Yugayitam.
Yes.
Ni-
Yugayitam Mishena, Chakshusha Pravrishayitam,
Shunyayitam.
Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam, Govind Virhem. He's saying, my whole world is empty without Krishna. My whole world is empty without Krishna. Right? So he's saying, I'm not finding Krishna. My whole world is empty. So I need to find Krishna. Where is he? Right? And what's the significance of who's playing his flute? What's the significance of flute? The flute attracts the mind of the gopis and the devotees.
Yeah.
Okay? And he says, who's the Lord of my life? He is the Lord of my life, nobody else. So now let's talk about the 8th verse of Shikshastakam. Who remembers that? Ashri Shiva Padrata Punashtumam Adarshanen Marmahatam Karotuva Hitha Tathava Vidhata Lampato Mama Pranathas Saev Napara. My Prananath is Krishna, nobody else. Even if he rejects me or he embraces me. Under all circumstances, he's my Prananath. So he's saying, he's my Prananath. Where is he? So even though he left, he's still my Prananath. And in the verse, he says, even though he may be with other gopis, he's still my Prananath. Right? It doesn't say, okay, you go away, go to your gopis. I don't have to do it. No. No, he's still my Prananath. Right? Text 16. Kahare kahibo kewa jane mor dukh, Vijendra Nandane binu phate mor bhuk. To whom should I speak? Who can understand my disappointment? Without the son of Nanda Maharaj, my heart is broken. Now, how many people in the material world can say, even for their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife? Right? Very difficult, very difficult. But say, my heart is broken. Who will understand my disappointment? Not many people. Not many people can understand those sentiments. Right? When our dear one dies, what do people say to console us? People will die, move on, it's, Krishna's mercy, Krishna's plan. But that's not what Lord Chaitanya is talking about. Who will understand my feelings? My heart is broken because I cannot be with Krishna. There's no substitute. I will not get busy with other things in life and forget Krishna. So I'm going to remain heartbroken. That very high level. Text 17. Aimat vilap kare bhival antar, Raya natak shlok pade nirantar. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always expressed bewilderment and lamented his separation from Krishna. At such times, he would recite the slokas from Ramananda Rai's drama known as Jagannath Vallabh Natak. So Ramananda Rai wrote this book called Jagannath Vallabh Natak, and he'll read those verses, which are all basically spoken by Radharani. So Natak means drama. So this is a drama Ramananda Rai wrote, and now Lord Chaitanya is quoting those verses. Okay, so I'm going to pause. Any questions or comments?
Prabhuji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is reading these lines from the drama in front of the deities in the temple, correct?
That too, but this is He's basically the people like Sri Damodar, Ramandra are in the room.
Okay, to
He's not
his.
standing in front of the Jagannath deity.
Okay, okay,
In
to
this
his.
in this context here, these are
Okay.
all happening in Gambhira.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
All right.
sure.
Prabhuji, this line is becoming true, which is said in the chapter 2 in the beginning.
Sorry, Prabhu?
First, the author expects that reading the pastimes of the Lord will gradually help a person awaken his
Yes.
dormant love for Krishna.
Yes, yes.
Very true.
Thank you. That's absolutely, yeah. Okay. Jai Shri Radha Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have a different line of thinking, and I might be wrong here. You know, our material senses, we cannot appreciate what Lord Chaitanya is exhibiting in terms of his separation and symptoms. We can't even imagine that. I mean, so given his ecstasy and given our lack of understanding, instead of bringing it closer to Krishna, is it not possible that we go even further away thinking, oh, we are never going to attain it? This is something totally unimaginable. Could it have the opposite effect?
On some people, yes. But see, the point here is sometimes we set a high target and then we are realistic so we know where we are. So now imagine 2 points, target
Mm-hmm.
or ability. Can you see my 2 hands?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's a big gap. Now, if there's a desire to get to the target, we make effort. The more we realize how big the gap is, the harder we will try if the desire is there. If the desire is not strong enough, you can say, like you say, oh, it's too much. I can't do it. So yeah, so either way is possible. But the lucky ones and the serious ones will try that. So remember the 4 reasons why people perform devotional service. Anybody knows?
Artha, Arthik, Jignasu, and Gyani.
Okay, I was going different point. Some people worship Krishna out of fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I don't, then I go to hell or I'll become poor or something like that. Something wrong will happen in my life.
Yes.
That's one kind. A little bit better than that are people who do out of hope. If I serve
Yes.
Krishna, he'll give me money, he'll give me good family, he'll give me daughter-in-law, son-in-law, or father-in-law, whatever, some kind of law and some kind of money and some position. They hope, materialistic people. They're better than those who serve Krishna out of fear only. So the second kind. Third kind, worship Krishna out of duty. Look what Krishna has done for me. He's given me eyes to see, hands to work, legs to walk on, and on and on and on, money and family. I'm very grateful. So therefore, it's duty to serve him. But the fourth kind, simply doing out of love. So if you're at a point where you're doing this out of love, but you understand the gap, then you will try harder. And that's the point here. Yeah, but some people will say, nah, it's not for me. Or forget about it's too difficult. This makes no sense. Why would I do that? Let me enjoy, let me eat, drink, and be merry. Or be with Mary. So the point is the different types of people and different kind of taste, different kind of attempt, and different results. So here we talk about a class of people who want to get that love of Krishna. Who are willing to work hard to understand that gap. They're going to work very hard to narrow that gap.
That's why Charitamrita comes after Bhagavatam. It's the PhD, right?
That's right, and that's exactly right. So not many people can understand.
Okay.
And, you remember the point where at Jagannath Rath Yatra, Lord Chaitanya leads a verse, don't go near this boy, he'll steal your everything and all that. And people say, where's this coming from? It's not making any sense. But Rup Goswami understood it. But then he wrote the different words, he wrote those sentiments. And that's just it. How did he know? The Surya said, it's your mercy upon him. So if you have mercy of Lord Krishna or Lord Chaitanya upon us, we make that jump. If not, but that mercy comes from the desire to make the jump. That's my point.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure. That's a great question, Madhya. Anyone else?
But Prabhuji, mercy is causeless.
That's tricky. You are tricky.
Yeah.
Causeless,
Because you said
therefore, give it to me anyway. I don't deserve it. He is very merciful. It's not stupid, unfortunately. Right? So even mercy is causeless, but never given to those who don't want it. So they may be fallen, they may be sinners, like the guy Madhya, right? But there has to be something that says, do this. Now, Rupa Goswami also says in Nectar of Devotion that what appears causeless in this lifetime is really not causeless because something happened in past time, previous life, that made them deserving, and it happens, mercy comes in this life, but this life cannot see what it did. So it looks like causeless.
So, in the first place, when a jiva must have initiated to take a step towards Krishna, that was his individual effort, not mercy of the God.
Say it again. Sorry, say it again.
So, since you said it's lined up from the previous births, wherein there's a chain of your pious activities and bhakti towards God, which appears to us as causeless mercy in the next births. So in the first place, the jiva must have taken a step from his own end, like his own effort. So my question is it in the very first place, is it the jiva or is it the God who initiates, inspires the person?
So what does Krishna say in 15:15? Sorry, I'm sorry, 15:7 in Bhagavad Gita. Mameva ansho jivaloke jivbhuta sanatana. Right? He says, you're all my part and parcel. Which means you have the same nature, same qualities, and you're attached to me. Right? That's what it means. Then the second line, he's literally crying. What's the second line of that verse? Manashasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. But these fools, my children who are fools, they left me, became entangled with Maya, now they're suffering, they're struggling. He's lamenting this. Right? So what happened? Initially, we said, no, we want to be independent. We want to be the enjoyers. We want to be the controllers. But our enjoyment is like 0.00001% capacity. Why? Because we are such a tiny little part of Krishna. What's our dimension? Anybody remembers? What is our size?
1/10,000th of the tip of the hair.
That's right.
That's right.
Can you imagine how small that is? Actually, Krishna says slightly differently, same thing. He says, take the tip of a hair, divide it in 100 parts. Then take that one part and divide again in 100 parts. I mean, you can't even imagine. That's how small we are. We're so insignificant, so small. And we think we can be big controllers? We're Isha, no question. But we're not Parameshwar. Right? We're not supreme control. What does our control extend to? Okay, today I will read, I'll wear blue shirt. Or tomorrow I'll wear the red shirt. But that's your control. Okay, maybe I will go grocery at 9 a.m. or maybe 11 a.m. So maybe that's your control. Not if something major to happen. And the major to happen, then you don't even have control on that. Somehow the time will change. I remember one accident where some stone fell from a mountain on top of a car and killed the driver. If the driver had been there on that spot 1/10 of a second before or 1/10 of a second after, he'd be fine. So that is not control. Are you following me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So my point is that we said, no, we are going to do all this. So therefore, we were sent to the material world in a dream-like situation. And things kept getting worse for most of us. Now, the free will didn't go away, so we still had the free will to maybe say, okay, I made a mistake, let me go back and serve Krishna.
Mm.
And then we can come back to the right path and eventually come back to Godhead. But now it's a long process because we've been too long with Maya. Remember the story about two girls, 6 years old, 8 years old, going to a piano teacher. And they wanted to learn piano. So she said, how long have you been playing? One girl said, never. She said, okay, it'll take me 6 months to teach you. The other girl said, well, I've been playing for 3 years. My mother has been teaching me. He said, it'll take you 3 years. She said, why? I already know so much. He said, yeah, now I have to make you unlearn and then teach you. Right? So our problem is we have unlearned everything about Krishna consciousness. We're so Maya conscious all this time. So it takes a long time to unlearn, and that's why we have so many births. But again, if we keep making effort, one day we'll get there. Okay, so yes, we turn away, but we still have hope if we use our free will properly. Ruchira, is that making sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. And I think it goes hand in hand, like parallel, like two parallel lines run. Mercy is also there, but free will also, wherein the desire to do bhakti
Yes,
should also
so
be there.
yes, and that's what I was saying in the beginning, that the desire and the effort has to be there.
Yes.
Yep.
Because mercy is on everybody, but it depends who decides to go back to
To
Krishna.
receive it, yeah.
Yes.
Hare
But
Krishna,
also,
Guruji.
Prabhuji, one more questions. All these symptoms which are discussed right now of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like his joints, going separate, and then like extraordinary bodily symptoms. So, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to show us what kind of devotion every jiva should do, that's the benchmark, that's the standard. So, Krishna is also expecting the same level of bhakti and same kind of symptoms we should have when he decides to take us back to Godhead.
So he helps. So what was the reason for Krishna coming as Lord Chaitanya? Anybody remembers?
The internal reasons or the external reasons?
Okay, either one.
The internal reasons were totally between him and Radharani. He
Okay.
wanted to see
Yeah.
what is the,
Right.
the
Right. What's the external reason?
how she relishes me.
No. So that's internal.
No.
What's the external reason?
External reason is to establish the Yuga Dharma again.
No, it's more than that.
It's more, okay, then it has to be
So
also
that's the name of Lord Krishna.
to also freely, also to distribute prema bhakti, right?
No, it's more than that.
More than that, okay.
And Prabhuji, is it to teach us how to perform?
Exactly. See, Lord Krishna came and showed us what Braj Bhav looks like.
Okay.
Lord Chaitanya came to show us how to do it. Watch him and then do it. It's like mother holding the hand of the son or the child and writing A, B, and C.
Yep.
One thing to watch, one thing to actually do it. So Lord Chaitanya is doing it so we can learn. So this is the highest, is showing what Braj Bhav is. But they say aim high. So if you aim to get 100% in mathematics in high school, if you really aim that, you might get 90%. But if you only aim 60%, you're not going to get 90%, you might get 40%. Best you might get 60%. So Lord Chaitanya is showing the highest platform, highest mood. Right? And then we can learn and hopefully get it. Okay? Okay, Gayatri, you were very patient. You were raising your hand and you gave up.
No, I didn't give up. You answered my question.
I asked you a question.
Yeah.
Getting power here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Yeah,
I just had a couple of things here. One is the question of causeless mercy. We always stop. Krishna has got two mercies. One is the Krupa Shakti and Ichha Shakti. And Ichha Shakti, that means Sarva Dharman Parityajya. You surrender me and I do that. And Krupa, that means causeless mercy, right? He gives to gopis. So both are there. As you was trying to explain, causeless mercy doesn't come easily. He doesn't give to everyone. That is his Krupa Shakti. He gives only to whom he wants to give. Right? So it is not available for all. So Icha Shakti, then he says, follow the procedure, right? Guru and all that Shastra, that's what he talks about. So that's where it comes. Another, again, we were talking about here, so Lord's, I was going through the 12 canto in some place. This is what understand. Lord has planned us to take us back. His plan is there, through Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, everything is there. Then free will, our desire to follow, but that's not all. There is also, we talk about destiny or past karmas also influence. So, we want to follow Icha, the karma may drag you or do, but what overcomes, right? That takes us. So Krishna has a plan for us to take back, all of us there. And even free will, as we desire also, we have to overcome our past karmas coming in the form of destiny. We can make obstacle to us, and we have to overcome and then make pathway through that. So his journey is not so simple, but we need a mercy of the Guru or Vaishnavas to make that also happen, Prabhuji.
That mercy helps you remove those obstacles.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. No, thank you.
Now I do have a question.
Okay.
So, we always talk about causeless mercy, and, when we will get the love for Krishna, it's going to be causeless mercy. But the fact that we're doing this right now, this is causeless mercy, right? Like we already have this causeless mercy to be able to, give up watching TV and attend classes and chant, and like this has been a gift that's been given to us.
Yeah, so it is, but there's a lot of your effort involved also. But when you talk about causeless mercy, we mean you didn't do anything in this life, but you got it anyway. So one is he's helping you along because he's your intent. So that's causeless mercy also, but that's not what we're talking about. When normally we talk about causeless mercy, we're talking about, you didn't deserve at all. You didn't do anything, but you still got it.
Would you like when we get to that?
It's like, for example, the Kaliya Nag. What did he do? But he got the mercy. That's real causeless mercy. As his wife said, we don't know what this guy did. He's such a malicious, sinful character. What did he do to get the touch of the lotus feet? Right?
So when we get prema bhav, that's not our doing. There's nothing we can do to get that level. That's supposed to be through the mercy of the Lord, right?
How do we get to, like you and I, for example, how do we get to prema bhav? We do Vaidhi Bhakti for a long time, a lot of effort, a lot of austerities, a lot of desire, a lot of intensity, a lot of, efforts. And then slowly move to Raganuga Bhakti. And again, you have surrender. Raganuga Bhakti, I mean, every Bhakti requires surrender, but that is specifically one specific personality. Then you move to Bhava Bhakti. Then you do long time Bhava Bhakti. Then you get Prem. But all along, your effort is there.
Yep.
So yes, this cause mercy because without it you cannot get it. But this cause there also, your effort is there. We talk about causes mercy. It means there's no effort on your part. Kaliya Nag did do nothing. I still got it. Right? Am I making sense?
Yes. So it's not, in this sense, it's not causeless because we are putting our efforts into it as well.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bhakti Krishna Prabhu?
So, Prabhu, won't this be considered as we utilizing our free will, minute independence, rather than causeless mercy? Of course, causeless
that's what we're saying. You're being helped in your efforts. So it's still mercy.
Right.
You know, you
Yes.
can't get bhakti without the
Right.
mercy of the devotees of Krishna. But when you say costs mercy, that's different. It's still mercy,
Right.
right? But you're doing
So
something.
mercy in the sense that, right, mercy in the sense that he's giving us the intelligence, so we make the right
Intelligence,
choice.
opportunities, devotee association, you know, opportunities. So yeah, that's his mercy.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we still have 12 minutes, so maybe you can do one or two of these verses. Again, inviting anybody knows how to read this? No? Okay. Premached rujo vagachati hari nayam na cha premava sthana sthanam avaiti napi madno janati no dullabha anyo vedana chanya dukkham akhilam no jivanam vashravam dvitrani ev dinani yavanam idam ha vide kagati. Translation. Shrimati Radhani used to lament. Krishna does not realize what we have suffered from injuries inflicted in the course of loving affairs. We are actually misused by love, but love does not know where to strike and where not to strike. Even Cupid does not know of our very much weakened condition. What should I tell anyone? No one can understand another's difficulties. Our life is actually not under our control. For youth will remain for 2 or 3 days and soon be finished. In this condition, O Creator, what will be our destination? So what is she saying? She's saying that Krishna does not realize how much pain we are suffering. And she says, nobody can understand the pain somebody else is suffering. So like if I have a back pain, I can describe it, but you cannot feel my pain. People say, oh, buddy, I feel your pain. No, you don't. So they're saying same thing. He doesn't appreciate how much we are suffering. Right? When Uddhava came, he tried to tell the gopis, oh, put your mind on something else. And they said, Uddhav, understand something. We have only one mind. Uddhav, man nahi das bis. I don't have 10 or 20 man. I have only one. Krishna has taken it away. Now what do I do? Right? So she's saying, Krishna does not understand my pain. And then she used to accuse him of going to Mathura and join the women up there, the more classy women. We are the village women. They're classy city women. So he enjoys their company more. But he doesn't understand how much we are hurting in his absence. And he says we are actually misused by love. Misuse means doesn't know where to strike. So Cupid doesn't know somebody's already feeling very weak. So what happens when Cupid hits somebody with an arrow or with his arrows? What happens?
Lost control of the senses, Prabhuji.
Sorry, Prabhu?
Lost control of the senses.
Yeah, that's also true. It's also true. But we fall in love totally out of control. Our feelings are no longer in our control. And so she's saying that Cupid doesn't understand that we're already very weak. Now you're making me weaker. Right? And this is, what should I tell anyone? No one can understand what I'm feeling. So I can't even go to somebody and say, Sakhiri, this is what I'm feeling. But the Sakhiri cannot understand what I'm feeling. Our life is actually not under our control. For youth will remain for truth. So youth is very short term. You know, like I can say, I used to be young. That wasn't that long ago. But now I'm old. So she's saying youth lasts only a few days. So I lose my youth in simply separation from Krishna, then I have no hope. I'll be old very soon. So that's a lamentation. Are you following this, or it's too exotic or esoteric? Okay. One more verse, then we'll stop. Text 19. Upajile premankur bhangile je dukhpur krishnataha nahi kare paan bahire nagararaj bhitre shather kaj paranari badhe savdhan. So she's saying, Shri Radharani spoke thus, in distress due to this separation from Krishna. Oh, what shall I say of my distress? After I met Krishna, my loving propensities sprouted, but upon separating from him, I sustained a great shock, which is now continuing like the sufferings of a disease. The only physician for this disease is Krishna himself, but is not taking care of this sprouting plant of devotional service. What can I say about the behavior of Krishna? Outwardly, he's a very attractive young lover, but at heart, he's a great cheat, very expert in killing others' wives. Look at the accusations. So full of love. Right? She says, I was fine until I met Krishna. No problem. My life was great. As soon as I met him, I developed these tendencies to love him. The loving feelings came out. And now I've separated, which is very shocking. But now I don't know how to handle my loving feelings. And now it has become a disease from which I've suffered. And so now I'm suffering, so I need a doctor. I need a doctor. But the only doctor that's capable of curing me is Krishna himself. So tumhine dard diya, tumhi dawa dana is not working. The person who gave me the pain is not here to give me the medicine. Now what do I do? I'm trying to develop my devotional service, but it's not helping me. It's not taking care of the plant. Right? So what can I say about the behavior of Krishna? Outwardly, he's a very attractive young lover, but at heart, he's a great cheat. Not just cheat, expert in killing. So he's basically killing me from being separated from him. What do I do? Who do I talk to? Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop here. Tell me if you have any more questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Just had one question, Prabhuji, or clarification. The last sentence here, it says that outwardly he is like a very attractive young lover, but at heart he is a great cheat, very expert in killing others' wives.
Yes.
So
remember, all these gopis were outwardly married to somebody else, including Radharani. So they're all somebody else's wives. And the implication is that you're not supposed to kill somebody else's wife. But he's killing everybody.
Got it, Prabhuji.
Right?
Thank you.
Sure. Like she used to make some really interesting accusations against Krishna. And Krishna said, I live for those. The chastisement from Radharani is more dear to me than the Vedic hymns. So you can chant all the mantras and the Vedic hymns and all that. That is nothing for me. But one chastisement from Krishna, Radharani, I love it. Why? It's a reflection of her love for him. Okay. Any other question?
Very nice.
Okay. Then I think it's